So today I want to talk to you guys about a subject which has been on a lot of people's minds recently, and that is of course, what is going to be the next Battlefield title. But before we jump into that, I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys for the huge support on my previous video. Of course, that was the first episode in my brand new series Versus. And when a YouTuber does start up a brand new series, it can be a little bit scary, wondering are the subscribers going to enjoy it, maybe it won't go down so well, and especially if it is different from your usual content, it might not be to the subscribers' liking. But in hindsight, you guys really did like that episode. In fact, we got 1,300 likes in less than 24 hours, so that's got to be a brand new record for my channel. And there wasn't a single negative comment. You guys really did seem to enjoy it, so we definitely will be having more episodes in the Versus series. In fact, I have lined up the next episode now against Azzy, so you can expect to see a very funny episode there. Now, I only have about 5 weeks left of university, and after that I will practically be going full time with YouTube, so you can expect to see a lot more content on the channel and hopefully a lot of new series, so there is a lot to stay tuned for. But moving on, today I want to talk to you guys about the possibilities for the next Battlefield title. Now, not so long ago in a Matt's Mailbox episode, one of my subscribers asked me my thoughts on the whole idea of the Battlefield Police game. Now, of course, at the moment this is still a rumour, nothing is 100% confirmed. But the story goes, for any of you guys who don't know, that Visceral Games, who do work for EA and create games like Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2, and of course the final Dead Space 3, could be working on a spin-off series based on a Battlefield Police themed game. Now, in that video there was a mixed response from a lot of you guys, and myself, I wasn't too keen, but since then I've rethought about the idea and I don't think it could be a bad decision. Of course, if we take a look at the biggest competitor to Battlefield, Call of Duty, that does run with a spin-off idea. Of course, we have the main line of Modern Warfare games, but since then we've had spin-offs with Second World War games like World at War, and of course now we have Black Ops, which is set sometimes in the past and then sometimes further into the future, so having these different spin-offs can freshen up a series. Now, I know we're all thinking, well, the spin-off series I'd love to see alongside Battlefield is the return of the Bad Company series. Now, I myself was a massive fan of Bad Company. As I told you guys recently, it was the game that brought me into the Battlefield series. And I did enjoy the lightheartedness of it, which is something I do miss in the pretty super serious Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. But we have to be realistic with ourselves here, and from listening to interviews with EA and DICE, it's pretty certain that we may never see the return of the Battlefield Bad Company series at all. And the idea of Visceral Games producing a new Battlefield Police theme game could be this new spin-off series to replace Bad Company. Because of course, up till recently, EA had hoped the game to sit alongside Battlefield in an every other year rotation was Medal of Honor. But with the massive fail that was Medal of Honor Warfighter, that game has now been put to one side. So there is a space for a game to sit alongside Battlefield to make sure that EA have a brand new FPS game out every single year to compete with Call of Duty. So can we expect to see a new Battlefield title in 2014? Well, initially there were a lot of speculations and rumours that we could be seeing either a Battlefield spin-off or even Battlefield 5 before the end of the year because of the Battlefield 4 premium calendar. Of course, all of the DLC and events take place and end just as summer 2014 comes to a close. So people were thinking that all of this DLC and new stuff was going to be wrapped up around the end of summer to make way for a new Battlefield title in October or November 2014, as we saw with Battlefield 4. But as the months have dragged on, we've heard very little from EA and DICE or even Visceral Games, who are alleged to be making the next Battlefield title, about an upcoming FPS. If we think back to this time last year, by now we'd already seen the initial gameplay of Battlefield 4 and we knew quite a lot about it, so it does seem less and less likely now that we will be seeing a new FPS title released by EA for November 2014. But all of this could be good news. Of course, we all know that Battlefield was rushed out to compete with the release of Call of Duty. DICE themselves said that they thought Battlefield needed an extra 6 months before it was released, which means it would have been released around this time this year, which seems to make sense because it is around now that Battlefield starts to feel like it is a complete game. For me personally, on PC, I know other users like Westy have spoke about this recently, it does really feel now that Battlefield is coming together and it is starting to feel like a complete working game. Of course, that's just our experience on PC, I can't speak for console users. So this means that maybe Visceral Games or even EA and DICE have acknowledged the issues we had with Battlefield 4, and we may not be seeing a title released by November 2014, but maybe around this time in 2015, so maybe some April or May time releases. So this is where I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. I want to get a real good discussion going. Now, I would always be excited for a brand new Battlefield title, as would any Battlefield fan. But of course, if that meant the sacrifice of having a good working game just to get it out early, that isn't something I want to see. I never want to see the issues we had with Battlefield 4 arise in a Battlefield title again. I also want to ask you guys, what is your true opinion on the idea of a Battlefield police game? At first, I was very resistant to it, but the more I think about it, maybe seeing a SWAT-based game with SWAT weapons, MP5s, in maybe smaller, more close-quarters maps, maybe the kind of size maps we saw on Medal of Honor 2010 and Medal of Honor Warfighter, it could be something a little bit different and a fresh change that the Battlefield series really needs to see. Because I really think to freshen up this title, if we just saw Battlefield 5 very similar to Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3, it would just start to feel very stale and go down the same path we see with Call of Duty. So making something very different, going in a complete different direction, could be something that Battlefield really needs. So tell me all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Now before we wrap up this video, I quickly want to say, because I am finishing university very soon, I will have a lot more time for the channel, so I am going to start up streaming again. So if you guys would like to see a lot more from myself, maybe some streaming, some more chilled out games, maybe some Goat Simulator, maybe any kind of game really, tell me down in the comments below. I will leave a link to my Twitch account, so make sure you follow me on Twitch to stay up to date with all the streaming that will be going on. There will be a lot of giveaways as well, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. Don't forget to hit like if you did enjoy, because it massively does help me out, and I really do appreciate your feedback and your likes and support. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.